Hello everyone. Today, I want to tell you something that most people do not know about me. When I was young, I failed. Not once, not twice, many times. I applied to 30 different jobs after university. Every single one said no. I applied to Harvard 10 times. 10 times they said no. When KFC came to my city, 24 people applied. 23 got the job. I was the one they did not choose. I remember standing outside that KFC, watching the other people walking for their first day of work, and thinking that even a fast food restaurant did not want me. That feeling is very difficult to describe. It is not just sadness. It is the kind of quiet, heavy feeling that makes you start to believe that maybe the world is trying to tell you something. Maybe you are just not someone things work out for. For a long time after that, I waited. I waited for someone to see me differently. I waited for someone to give me a chance. I waited for the right opportunity, the right timing, and the right person to believe in me. And while I waited, nothing changed. Because nothing was going to change. Not until I understood something very simple and very hard at the same time. Nobody was coming. No one was going to wake me up and hand me a different life. No one was going to look at me and say, "Jack, we were wrong about you. Here is your opportunity." That moment was never going to arrive. And the day I truly understood that, something changed inside me. Not because it was good news, but because it was honest news. And honest news, even when it hurts, gives you something to work with. I was sitting at a table with a piece of paper, and I wrote down one question. If I start tomorrow with exactly what I have right now, what is the smallest possible thing I can actually do? Not the plan, not the vision, not what it would look like in 5 years, just tomorrow, just one thing. And I wrote down an answer. It was small. It felt almost embarrassingly small compared to everything I wanted to build. But it was real. It was something I could actually do with what I had. And the next morning, I did it. Not perfectly, not confidently, but I did it. And that one small action was more important than every big idea I had been carrying around for years. Because it was the first real thing. And real things, no matter how small, have a completely different weight than ideas. Ideas float. Real things are solid. You can build on them. The moment you do the first real thing, even a very small one, you stop being a person who is thinking about starting and become a person who has already started. That change is enormous, even when it looks small from the outside. Now I want to talk to you about what I learned. Not the short version, the real version. Because I have said take responsibility many times in many speeches. And I have watched people nod their heads and then go home and do exactly what they were doing before. Hearing something and living it differently are two completely different things. So let me try to explain it honestly in a way that might actually change something for you today. When I say nobody is coming, I do not mean you will never receive help. I received help. I found good people along the way. I had team members who believed in the vision. I had moments of luck and good timing. But here is what I understood clearly. None of those things could replace the central decision. The decision to begin. The decision to continue. The decision to take what I had and build with it, even when what I had was very small. That decision belonged only to me. No one else could make it for me. And until I made it, all the help in the world would not have moved my life forward, because help can open a door. But you are the one who has to walk through it. Responsibility is not about being alone. I want to be clear about this. You can have people who love you, people who support you, people who want good things for you, and you should treasure those people deeply. But even with all of that support, you are still the only person who can do the specific work of becoming who you need to become. Nobody can study for you. Nobody can practice for you. Nobody can build your discipline for you. Nobody can decide to keep going on the hard days for you. Those things have to come from inside. And when they do not come from inside, every resource on the outside stays mostly unused. This is something I saw many times when building Alibaba. We had people with great talent who were waiting for the perfect moment to fully commit, waiting until the business was more stable, waiting until the direction was clearer, waiting until they felt more confident. And while they waited, the people next to them who were less talented but more committed moved forward. Not because commitment is magic, but commitment is the thing that turns what you have inside you into something real in the world. Without it, everything you are capable of just sits there, unused, like a book that was never opened. Let me say something that I think about often, because it captures this idea in a way that is very difficult to argue with. You cannot hire someone to do your push-ups for you. Think about that carefully. If you want a strong body, you have to do the exercise yourself. No amount of money can change that. No friend, no connection, no relationship can change that. You have to show up, and you have to do the work. And the strength that comes from it belongs only to you, because you were the one who built it. Life works exactly the same way. There are certain things that cannot be given to another person and cannot be taken from them either. Your daily choices, your habits, your effort. When no one is watching, nobody can learn a new skill for you. Nobody can build your confidence for you. Nobody can fight your fear for you. These things must be done by you, inside you, through repeated action over time. And this is not bad news. This is actually one of the most important truths I know, because it means that everything you build through your own effort is truly yours. Nobody gave it to you. Nobody can take it away. You earned it. And that kind of deep knowing that you built something with your own hands through your own effort is something no failure and no rejection can ever remove from you. Now I want to talk about excuses, because this is where most conversations about success go wrong. And I want to be more honest about this than most people are. People who give advice usually talk about excuses as if they are a sign of weakness or laziness, as if the person making excuses simply does not want it badly enough. And sometimes that is true, but most of the time, excuses are something different. They are a sign of fear, specifically the fear that you might try with everything you have and still not be enough. That is a very different thing from not wanting to try. Think about that fear for a moment. It is not a small fear. It is actually one of the heaviest fears a person can carry. Because as long as you have an excuse, you also have a kind of protection. If you never fully try, you never have to find out what happens when you do. and that not knowing feels safer than the alternative. I understand this fear because I felt it. When I was thinking about starting Alibaba, I had many real reasons not to. I had no money, I had no technical background, nobody in China was building what I wanted to build. The internet was new, and most people did not trust it for business. Every excuse was completely real. Every reason to wait was a genuine reason. But I also began to understand that the excuses were doing something else at the same time. They were keeping me from ever finding out what I was actually capable of. And that not finding out felt like a much bigger loss than any failure could ever be. Let me give you an example that might be closer to your own life. Imagine someone who wants to improve their English. They want to speak more confidently. They want to be able to have real conversations. But every day, there is a reason to wait. I am too busy right now. I will start properly when work is less stressful. I do not have the right materials yet. My pronunciation is too bad to practice with people. I need to study grammar more before I try to speak. Every single one of those reasons might be completely true. And yet, every single one of them is also keeping that person from the only thing that would actually improve their English, using it. The moment they stop using those reasons to wait and start treating them as small problems to solve, everything changes. Too busy? Find 10 minutes. Bad pronunciation? Practice alone first. Not enough materials? Use what is available right now. The excuses were real, but they were also getting in the way. And here is what I want you to understand about excuses. They do not protect you from failure. They protect you from finding out. And the things you never find out about yourself are the most expensive in your life. More expensive than any business failure. More expensive than any rejection. Because you carry them forever as questions you never answered. No excuse is worth that price. I also want to talk about the difference between motivation and discipline. Because most people build their daily effort on the wrong foundation and then wonder why they keep stopping. Most people wait for motivation before they begin. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel excited. They wait for the right energy to arrive. And sometimes motivation does come. You read something inspiring. You hear a story that moves you. And you feel that sudden burst of energy and certainty that, yes, now is the time. Now I will do it. But motivation never stays. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days it is there, and some days it completely disappears. And if you only work when you feel motivated, you will not work consistently enough to build anything that takes real time and real effort to build. Discipline is completely different from motivation. Discipline is not a feeling at all. It is a decision you make in advance and then follow through on, regardless of how you feel in the moment. On the days at Alibaba, when I was tired, when I was worried about money, when the progress was invisible, and the doubt was very loud, I did not feel motivated to work. But I showed up anyway, not because I felt like it, because I had made a decision and I was keeping it. And over time, that consistent showing up builds something that motivation alone could never have built. Here is a simple way to think about this difference. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. And it is the keeping going that matters most. Anyone can start something when they feel inspired. The real question is, what you do on the days when the inspiration